Hello, everyone. It is Larry Lewis again on the Mentors Lounge. I'm so happy today because I brought to you a very, very phenomenal young man. The person I'm bringing to you today is someone that has braced the odds, has been able to go above what people consider as limitation, and be able to create a niche for himself, even in this space. I'm talking of no other person but Rasak Adekoya. Welcome to Mentors Lounge, Rasak.
Thank you very much, Larry. Glad to be here with you, and hi to everyone listening to us and watching us as well.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now, for those who don't know who Rasak is, Rasak, as you can see him here, if you look at him very well, is a very fine gentleman. He is married, but he is phenomenal. Rasak and I met during the special training organized by Ashoka. Ashoka is a social enterprise that does a lot of impact around the world. And so this particular program was sponsored by the MasterCard Foundation, and great people from all over Africa were all at that session for about 6 weeks. And since then, that was in 2016, we have kept in touch. And what attracts me to Rasak is that when you see Rasak, you will not know something that I want to tell us today. Rasak is visually challenged. That means visually impaired. But you will not know, because everything that he that has that vision can do, Rasak has even done more than the person. And so that is why I brought Rasak to us today, for us to learn that it does not matter where or what challenge or what limitation life may have thrown at us, but that it is possible to overcome. And so we're going to be learning from Rasak how he has been able to brace the odds. So Rasak, to start with, has it always been like this? Were you born this way? For those who don't know, because I want us to be like, let's hear from the horse's mouth. Over to you, Rasak.
Interesting. Interesting. All right. Thank you very much. I think I'm so happy to be on the platform, the Mentors Lounge, and thank you for the amazing work you're doing with this platform.
Thank you.
So clearly, I wasn't born like this. I was born and brought up in the city of Lagos. I wasn't born visually impaired. I think in numbers, I lost the sight totally now around 12, 13 years. And basically, it's as a result of what I would call multiple factors. Yeah. Growing up at age 17, I was an online personality in Lagos. At age 17, I already was presenting in one of the media houses. And I presented for about one or two, particularly one of the TV cable stations. During one of the live presentations, there was, as a result of epileptic power supply, the train switch from one power source to another. That led to an explosion in the studio. Honestly, the light exploded. But after the incident, that same day, I still see clearly nothing happened. My eyes were just reddish. I was told to take a rest for about a week, in which I did. And nothing happened. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. In fact, I've left that particular media. And I think about 1 year, 2 years after, then the whole incident started. Yeah. And the rest is history. Doctors on strike. From the first government hospital I went, which is the Lagos State University Hospital, then gradually went to one of the other government hospitals, University College Hospital in Ibadan. And after then, finally landed in one of the top-notch private hospital with one eye still partly there. And that one also was partially sight. At that moment, I was already partially sighted. Underwent the surgery. And after the surgery, yeah, what seems to be the hope turned to the other in terms of sight, in the sense that what we were hoping to change from bad to good, move from bad to worse.
To worse.
I lost the total side, but I think yeah, so that's just a kind of picture of the whole narrative of the story.
How it happened.
Yeah, how the whole thing happened. But I think yeah, it's been a journey so far and a memorable good one to say. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Can you imagine that? That means as at the time Rasak lost this thing, he was already a teenager. I mean, advanced teenager. By the time you're 17, you're just 2 years, almost 2 years through to adulthood, young adulthood. So,
yeah, I mean, basically, the reason I said that is that at the time I lost, I was above my 20s. I was in my early 20s.
Wow. Wow.
I was in my early 20s.
So Rasak, losing sight at early 20s, that's the beginning of life.
Sure. Sure.
How did you overcome the trauma of someone who has been with sight for 20 years? Let's just say that you've had sight for 20 years. How did you overcome it at the beginning of life? I mean, youths, that's a vibrant age.
So basically, if anybody said it's not painful, it's a lie. Yeah, we are not here to interpret that everything looks beautiful. Sometimes I do say to people that sometimes you just need to look at it from a rainbow perspective. The light colors, they are the dark colors, right? And the mixture of it make the rainbow the rainbow. So there are many things, yeah, painful, feel bad, avoided people, don't want to even be associated, even when you lose your own self-confidence, yeah?
Yeah.
Like, oh, nah, I don't want people to get to know about this. I don't want friends to know this is my situation. I don't want family members to know this is what I'm going through. So at that moment, you are living in pure denial. And at that moment, nobody will help you. I recall clearly that one of my friends who finally got to know it was one of the newscasters on one of the radio stations in Lagos, Beach FM there, who just came to my house and was like, I've been looking for you, I've called your number, I've tried reaching out. So when people do come to my house, I just tell them I'm not around. But this lucky day, the man came and I never knew he was the one, and nobody was at home. And I opened the door for him and he came in. Yeah, and he's my friend. So, I mean, this is the house he has been to a couple of times. At that moment, I couldn't hide from him. And he was like, no, you can't continue living your life like this. So you've been indoor for more than 1 year, doing nothing, wasting, no. So basically, what I've come to realize is that at that moment, a lot of things happen. Mentally, you are struggling. Emotionally, you couldn't cope. In fact, I remember when one of the things I told people sometimes, I said, at that moment, loneliness was my friend, alone was my teacher, and I was actually in the school of solitary. Yeah, that was the school I was attending. Because at that moment, you just have to ask yourself, why am I here? Will there be hope? So one of the things I tell people around that clearly is that if you need to move out of any problem, the first thing you need to do is acceptance.
Accept it.
Yeah, acceptance. It has come, it has come. Yeah, of course, nobody wants to accept every negative situation. Particularly for most of us who come from the African perspective. Everything, you want to rebook it, and you say, no, it's not going to do. But the question you want to ask is, not every problem you will be able to solve. Some problems, you have to live with them for you to be able to find the solution. So for me, the first thing I did was, after a couple of months, was to first embrace it and accept it, that these has come.
Mm.
Whether I would be able to see physically or not, what next?
Mm.
Yeah. Would all the beautiful dreams shattered? No, no, no. So I do tell people every problem, it might not even be size, might not be any form of disability. Yeah,
Mm.
it could be financial losses. If I do tell, I mean, whatever the situation, the first thing I do tell people is embrace it. Because a lot of time, even let's put disability aside, when you have problem in your offices, if you don't first accept that that problem is existing, then you would find it difficult to find solution to solve it.
Solution to it.
So that's just my first basic thing that I do tell people: accept it. After then accepting it, then you start asking, will this problem be something I will need? It's just like when you're inside the rain. Picture this: you're in the rain. I
Yeah.
mean, you're about to go out. It's raining, and that's when you're not thinking, oh, if I knew I would have bought an umbrella. No, the problem has come. The only thing that, because you're not mitigating the problem at that moment,
Yeah.
yeah, you're not mitigating it. And if you look at it from different ways of mitigating risk, I mean, risk, when you look at it from risk analysis, you want to avoid it, you want to transfer it, you want to mitigate the risk. So sometimes you need to also look at personal problems from those lenses. Yeah, do you want
Yeah.
to avoid it? Want to transfer it? At that moment, I couldn't avoid it anymore. It has come, it has come. Could I transfer the problem? The question then is, what could allow me to still do what I intend doing, to still do what I want to achieve
Yeah.
in life
Yeah.
inside of it? And I think that was this next step I need to took. I took then. And luckily not I knew the step, but I remembered that my friend then told me, Rasak, I mean, let's give it a shot. I mean, you can still work in the radio. I know there's an audition going on. Let's try. Let me get your CV. I'm going to work on it. So we looked through my old emails. Well, I gave him my password because I couldn't press anything. I mean, even use my phone was a problem. I had to pick calls, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't do anything. And I went for the audition. After the audition, I remember I was not selected, but the woman told me one thing. Sometimes I do tell people, count the lessons during instead of the losses. Sometimes during the process you lost certain things. There are a lot of lessons in there. So sometimes better
Yeah.
just count the lessons and not the losses. So the woman then told me, I'm sorry, I can't give you an opportunity to work. But you know what? Go back to your doctor. I think there are ways in which people are visually impaired manage to do certain things like using their computers. I've met few of them in Accra when I was
Hmm.
staying in the US. So I went back to my doctor and I told him, I said, oh, at this moment, now that it's coming from you, let's go for rehab. And
Okay.
I went for the rehab. Yeah, I learned the basic things. What was matter for me then was, can I still use my computers? Yeah, because I just believe right from, I mean, before then, I knew one thing clearly: as long as I can use my computer system, every other thing is minor in life.
Hmm.
Every other thing. I knew right from time that the so-called technology is a tool and not a tool. Yeah,
Hmm.
and I've explored it very early, very early. I mean, I think I was in GSS 1 or 2 when I had my first email, right? So I knew
Hmm.
clearly that it's technology is going, once I can have that, yeah, and I can do every other thing everybody does on the same computer. Yeah, so I started learning, I learned a bit during my rehab, and I pushed up. Then the next thing is, what exactly do I want to do with this? Yeah, what exactly do I want to push? Of course, there are a lot of resistance, rejection, but I've always told myself, no, it's not my answer. Yeah, people will tell you, you can't do this, you can't do that. And I do tell them, that's not my answer. Thank you. I appreciate it. And you told me
Hmm.
no. Yeah. So the second thing I do tell people, don't take everybody's feedback. I mean, everybody has their opinion. Yours is decision. That was my second thing for me. Everybody around me has their opinion. I agree. But it's mine to take that decision.
Hmm.
So if you give me an opinion, I don't take it. Because one thing I've come to realize, I mean, I stay with people whom I would say right from my young age, I don't think I have friends who are 2, 3 years older than myself. I've worked with people who are far older than me,
Hmm.
and I've learned a bit around certain things from them. So I always tell people that, yeah, Because if you give me an opinion, if I decided to apply that, your opinion, if it works for me, you said, yes, I advised him and that worked. But if it doesn't work for me, you will tell me, sorry, it does not apply that opinion the way I asked him to. Yeah, and that's human being for you, if you understand the psychology of human. So I've come to realize that every opinion is yours. Mine is decision. So I filter the information and I'm able to then take the decision. So when people tell me over certain things, as long as I have a strong instinct that those things are possible, perhaps the possibility might not be there immediately, but I'll push. Yeah, and I've come to realize not every door that I will knock will open. Honestly.
Yeah.
But sometimes I need to understand that maybe I need to think the way I'm knocking the door. Perhaps maybe I need to go and open another door, and from that other door, I will find my way to opening this door. Yeah, so I've come to realize that those kind of thinking of over my head. So that was the beginning. If I said I'm not rejected, I'm lying. Yeah, I was rejected a couple of times.
Yeah.
I did many things, doesn't work. I failed. Yeah, sometimes it's like somebody is in the middle of the mud. You're stuck, cars are going right and you cannot move. Yeah, so if I said those things don't went there, I'm lying. But what really matters is understanding some basic things. I do tell people principles are universal, it's peculiar. Yeah. So I started understanding what are the principles, what are those things I want to really take, and how can I apply them. So I started many things, and I failed. Yeah, I don't shy away from using those words. I failed. But one thing I've learned, the lessons from those failure has helped me to become who I am today. I'm not here where I want to be, but if I look back, I think I should be grateful. Yeah, because
honestly,
I know the things I've achieved, and I know the platforms I've been.
Yeah,
I know the need to. Yeah, so for me, I should be grateful about those things that I feel they are accomplishments. So sometimes I need to tap myself and say, well done. Yeah,
absolutely.
And sometimes I still look more. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm so excited about, the journey so far, right? Because look, that moment where it dawned on you that this is how this thing is going to be, and you were in that shell for many months until that man came and kind of nudged you into like, guy, you can't continue like this. Now, many people may not have gotten that kind of opportunity, that somebody will kind of come and nudge you. I want to ask, during that period where you were like alone, did you have any support system to keep you in there that it's not the end? Because even at that, as a young man, early 20s, that's a big one. What were the support system that helped you to still like stay?
So let's be realistic. There are many things. Honestly, of course, I was staying with my family. I mean, right from rather than staying alone, I have to stay back with the family. Yeah, the family were the basic support system at that moment. Because at that moment, don't even let my friend know. Don't let this one know. Oh no, don't. So you get those basic support system, but you see, I need to tell people that growing up a child is a war. And similar to growing your business. Because when you're growing up a child, at the first early stage, there are a lot of things. In fact, I can tell people that sometimes the way we do certain things in Africa, sometimes you just need to think about it. Every parent at the early stage of a child, toddler, 0 to 5, even 5 to 10, you're always pampering them. They want to do, oh no, don't touch. If you touch it, it's fine. No, don't touch. Draw a line between the point of don't touch and the point of touch. Experience it so you don't go there next time. Right? But that thin line of drawing, knowing where to and not where not to, it's a big problem. yes, I have a support system, but it took some doggedness to grow out of that support system. A lot of people sit within that comfort zone. So let me give you an example. When I was in the rehab school then,
Yeah.
I see guys who comes around 1 year. I mean, just come. Oh, where are you coming from? Oh, I'm coming from home. Oh, you came alone? Yes. How did you do it? Yeah, I came alone. Guy, I came alone. I came from Ireland. Oh, some people tell you I traveled alone. Oh, okay. So at that moment, you start asking yourself, why not? Why won't I? So even though I had a support system, I think going out, look, for example, my friend pushed me and said, go to the radio, there should be, maybe they can still give you opportunity. He did not even know anything. He just wanted me to still go out. Maybe something can still happen. Getting to the radio says, sorry, we can't give you the job. But go and ask your doctor. There are ways people like you should be able to work. Maybe you need to go abroad, though. I don't know. But I know I've seen people who are blind who can do things. Then my doctor referred me to rehab. So you can see from one thing leading to another, but there was disappointment, but keep pushing me ahead, right? So the rehab was more. So I remember when I went for the rehab and I came back. The moment is, oh, my mom is saying, no, you want to go out? The driver will take you out. Yeah, you can call a team man to take you out. But I remember there was a day I told them, no problem. I won't go out again. And after everybody went out, I sneak out of the door because I wasn't used to it. I wasn't used to sitting at home. And at that moment of going out, I knew what came to my mind. Is I go, I don't come back, which is maybe a car would hit me, or I go and I come back. But what is clear is that I'll go out. Yeah? So that mindset of I just want to do things I see cannot continue keeping me. The person who is keeping me is not keeping me at home for his or herself. She was just being too careful of not looking at our context and where I mean our environment. She's just being careful. And this happened to us a lot. Sometimes many of us also sit within that comfort. So for me, I think I just took that crazy step. Like, I just want to go out there. I want to go out alone. I've seen some of my friends or colleagues at the rehab school who goes out, come back. And I think after I went out, I came back. And she knew because immediately I left. I think during the day she called me and I said, I am out. I'm thinking of my mother, right? If anything happens to you, things like that. And I came back. And I told her, this is the beginning. The beginning of freedom. The beginning for me to start doing things myself. And I remember the last word I told her, the beginning for me to start making my money back. And I said, which money do you want to make now? And I said, you don't worry. I will make it. That money will come. For me, it's not even the money in cash. The wealth will come. It's a matter of time. Yeah. So those are some of the things, the support systems that I mean, basically the family system. Some people don't over rely on those family systems because sometimes it might kill you. Yeah, and it's not just your direct family alone. To people who are watching who might not have any form of disability, you might have a problem. Yeah, you might be pain, and everybody says just take it easy. What do you want? We'll do this for you. Oh, what do you want? We'll do that for you. It's good. It's not a bad thing. It's good to have those support systems. But you must keep in mind that sometimes those support systems are not expected to be a permanent social protection for you. Yeah, you need to also move out of it. There's always been some debate about a social protection make people out of poverty or not. Yeah, sometimes a lot of people live within that vicious circle.
And they don't go out.
Yeah, because something is keeping and sustaining them. Yeah. But and whereas some people move out of it and use it as a way of catapulting and moving to the next stage.
Okay. So now to some specifics, right? You are currently how will I put it now? The program officer of Inclusive Futures.
Currently, I'm the program development advisor.
Program development advisor. Okay.
Yeah, I currently work as a program development advisor at Sightsavers, where I work under the economic empowerment portfolio and I oversee the African component now.
Good.
Yeah.
Now, if somebody hears the name and the title right? Without meeting you for the first time. The day they meet you, do you know what will be on their face?
Yeah, it's a common thing when people do not meet you.
Where my question is this, how did you evolve to rise and build the profile to this level? I'm asking this question because I want that person who is going to be watching this or who will see this and say that, look, if this person can follow this path and it did it and did this, then there is hope for me. How did you evolve? How did you reinvent yourself and get to this point? Not only that, I read recently that you are the Sightsavers Nigeria, One Young World Ambassador, right? And that has taken you to different places. That is a profile that even he that is not visually impaired desires to have. How did you build this? That is the secret. How did you evolve? Share with us.
Okay. I'll speak on 4 areas.
Good.
The first thing for me is that I know where I'm going. How to get there would not be one route. Never. I know the journey I want to embark on, but I've come to realize over the years that you never come in a linear route. Yeah? There are different routes to that point. That's the first thing. So why I said that's pretty simple. I started in the media. I was a science student when I was in school. From there, I moved to the media. From being the media, I wrote my first book. After I lost my sight, I started teaching people how to use computer. I know the power of IT. I moved a bit around entrepreneurship. I told people everything I do is around 3 things, ETC, entrepreneurship/economic empowerment, technology, and communication. Of course, all I do is still round revolves, sort of, yeah? And after I told people that, I started doing several things. I was doing copywriting for schools, around leadership training, I was networking. I mean, when you see a lot of people doing newsletters today, back in 2015, I know how many insurance companies that engage in managing introducing the use of newsletters to attract clients and the funnel to them. Yeah, I was doing that for private companies, schools, so I was doing different things, right? And that's why I said I knew where I was going. But what came to my mind clearly is I will not get to that point through one route. It might work for some people, but it doesn't work for everybody. Yeah? Check anybody. Check the BUK. Check everybody. They've never attempted becoming successful through just one route. They've attempted several routes before they finalized, but they knew where they were going. The second thing for me, I don't subscribe to hard work. I subscribe to smart work. But I do tell people, we need to be careful here. Smart work doesn't mean you don't sweat. No. What smart work tells me is to keep within the principle of those 4 C's: communication, creativity, your consistency. Yeah. Now look at it. I've talked of communication, but the first part of it is this. Look, let me say this. Whatever you do in life, I just always do this. I will give my child the best of the best education. But if he or she cannot communicate what he knows, that's dead as anything. So we must all learn to communicate what we do. You have to sell yourself. If you're a businessman, you have to sell yourself. If you're working in a company, don't communicate your capacity and your ability. Yeah? And sometimes this communication does not just mean talking, expressing it. in all forms of communication. So I've come to realize that clearly. So if you say you're a smart worker, doesn't mean you don't sweat. It's about you communicating. And the creativity has to do with your thinking, disruptive innovation. Can you disrupt the system? Yeah. Understanding that you are a system in a system. You are a system in itself. Yeah, I tell people, look, just no matter how much money you have, I've come to realize that if you have the capacity to run 100 kilometers in 3 seconds, right? If you're in a system that does not allow you to run that, you just have to come down and run maybe that 3 seconds for maybe 70 kilometers. Because the system itself is holding you back. You need to understand what system are you finding yourself and how can you disrupt the system. Yeah. So that's the second thing. And the second thing you need to think about. Then you are now thinking of what's the level of consistency within you. We are communicating, you are thinking of the innovation that you want to disrupt. What level of consistency are you putting there to ensure that you maintain and you gain some level of momentum? So it's easy to start something. If you gain the momentum, right, and you cannot sustain it, you will drop. Now, starting again, it takes a while. Yeah, so you also need to maintain some level of consistency. Not that you won't get up, but it takes a while.
Yeah.
So, and that's the principle of the smart work principle that you need to keep in mind if you need to transform the system or change the system. That's the second thing for me. The third thing that I think I have come to realize that money will never solve your problem. Money would never, and I mean never solve anybody's problem. So what I do tell people is what is the value you can add? You see, I've added value. What matters to me is sometimes, I say, look, I want more financial capital. But financial capital would thrive on the basis of your intellectual and your social capital, right?
Yes.
If you have the intellectual capital plus your social capital, then naturally you will get more financial capital. But if those two things are working for you, you have the financial capital and you have the social capital, then you need to pay for the intellectual. But remember, you are paying for it. The day the intellectual leaves the system, there's a problem. Yeah. So nobody maintains network or anything. Look, those two things are pretty important. Intellectual and social. And those two things are important to use that value. People will either come to you. Perhaps they have the intellect. Perhaps you have the social capital that can give them financial capital. Right? So I've come to realize whenever you need to give me, don't give me the money. Yeah? I don't believe in money. Yeah, I don't. The value, what value can I add?
Yeah.
Everywhere I go to, I ask myself, what value? Look, if I know I can't add the value to a system, I pull out. Because not every system will I be able to fit it.
Yeah.
What value can I add to that system? The fourth thing that I always tell people is who are the people around? How resourceful can you be with the resources you have? I'm not a Christian, yeah. But
who are the people around you and how resourceful can you be?
Yeah, with the resources you have. Because you can have a lot of people around you, yeah. If you are not resourceful with those, there are people around you are resources.
Yeah.
If you are not resourceful with the resources you have, you will never.
You remain stagnant.
You remain stagnant. Look, I can know that, oh, this is Narigodi, is my neighbor. If I don't know what you do, what the hell? I'll give the same service you can render to somebody out there. Because at that moment, I don't know you to be able to ask someone who can solve my problem. But I know somebody out there who can solve that problem. So I always really think through about how can I be resourceful? Because you can add value to people, yeah, that's fine. But before you attain that level of adding value and people seeing you as somebody they can go to, you have to first get to that stage of being resourceful. Yeah. So being resourceful is very, very, very important. We do like, can I multiply the resources I have and be resourceful with it? Because the principle of multiplying resources is resourcefulness. Yeah, there's no principle out of that. If you want more resources, be resourceful with the resources.
Yeah.
Then more resources will naturally come. So this is the fourth thing for me that I've come to realize. The last, and I always tell people, acquire every information that you can. Yeah, I'm not saying the jargon information, filter out. Okay, let me change the word. Acquire every resourceful information you can acquire. Because you see, if I look at the way I've moved from one phase to another, I've come to realize that not one thing. Let me give you an example. In 2013, when I started, I learned how to use computer as a blind person. So I started asking myself, what can I learn? So I went online. Are there online courses? I knew of EDX back in 2013. I knew Coursera around 2010. Yeah. And around that 2013, I knew of EDX. Yeah, I think late 2013, if my memory serves me well. 2014, I think I did about 82 courses on EDX.
82.
Because I have nothing I was doing nothing. And at that moment, the best I can tell myself is, Rasak, just keep learning. Of course, a lot of those courses mean nothing. In fact, some of them I've not even used them till today. Right? Now, if somebody is talking to me, I will say, look, don't learn every Tom, Dick, and Harry courses. But then I was just, if I see this course, as much as I read about it, and I'll just take it. After all, I'm not going anywhere now. After all, instead of me using this internet data and just be going online and reading Facebook chats, can you use it on this? So sometimes I tell people, do as much as as you can. And so those are the kind of 5 things. But in terms of principles, attitude-wise, there are 4 things I will keep as my own personal principles.
Yeah.
Accountability. If you cannot be accountable for the resources with you, don't come to me. We can't be friends. No, we can't. It's not possible. Yeah, I'm accountable for every time I spend. I know the time to invest. If you can't be accountable for your resources, then I can't assign leadership for you to you. Yeah, because if you cannot be accountable for how you spent your life in the past 1 year, how do you then expect me to give you that? No. Accountability matters to me a lot. The second thing is humility. Yeah?
Humility.
To realize it's a great virtue. I respect everybody around me. No matter how you might think you're small. No, I don't believe anyone is small. Depends on how you perceive yourself. Yeah? I respect everybody. The 4th principle for me as a person is that level of productivity and transparency about it. How productive are you? Yeah, you are accountable with the resources. But how are you transforming those resources to impact? Yeah. So when I'm talking of productivity, I'm talking of impactful productivity. How are you affecting lives? How are you changing? How are you solving problems? The basic thing, everything I do, I ask myself, what is in it? We all have our vested interest, right? So sometimes my vested interest might not, for me, most of my vested interest is not about the cash I make. No. Because I've come to realize that the only way you can create wealth is to solve problems.
Yeah.
So I'm always asking, what the impacts of this productivity? You can talk. What are you talking? And how is it changing people's life? You can write. What are you writing? And how is it changing people's life? Right? You can dance. How are you dancing? And how is it affecting people? Are you getting it now?
Yeah.
So it's about understanding the impact. It's a basic principle for me as I move. Then the 4th thing, I always say it, I need you, you need me, makes the world goes around.
Umbutu.
Yeah.
That's Umbutu.
that we need to support each other. I've come to realize where Larry, just stay back and look back and say, where I am today, is it is it only your effort that makes you who you are? Yeah. No. So it's a contribution of many efforts. So the question then is, how are we giving it back?
Right.
Yeah. So, and that is missing in the society we live today.
Yeah.
People think, oh, Nigerian government did not contribute to anything. I went to do this myself. Yeah, I live in Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
I asked many people, yes, we agree. You might say the government did not send you to school. But when you look at how much you spent to become a medical doctor in Nigeria, it's not the same as what your counterpart in the UK spent to become a medical doctor. So one way or the other, people have contributed to part of that success, to part of that narrative. And I just tell people, if you tell me, if there's a stage 4, there's a stage to learn, there's a stage to earn, and there's a stage to yearn. Yeah. So you need to understand that there's a stage you are learning, there's a stage you are earning, and there's a stage you are yearning. At that moment, you need to start giving back. I don't think you need to be 50 before you get to that yearning. But I always tell people, don't rush learning. Learn as you can. In fact, learn continuously. Don't rush leaving the learning phase because you want to earn. Do you get it? Yeah? Because what is happening in Lord now, a lot of people, okay, I've seen some of the guys sitting down and said, Rasak, it just maybe, from what I said, I don't think you're above 35. I said, okay, go ahead. And I know you're now, this was just about 2 weeks. And the guy said, but I know with your work, somebody told me now you now support about 13 or 15 countries or if not more. I said, at your age, you should not be where you are. Yeah, and I told him, because I have learned. Yes, it's not by my grace. It's not by my power. But if you look at the age at which I started learning, you might not be. I started learning from age 17. When I mean learning, working and learning. Yeah, so when you now count that now, you might only start yours maybe at 25 or 30. Meaning you'll be around 45
before you start.
Before you start. So it's opportunity, but learn as much as you can before you start dragging that you want to earn all the best money. For me, money will come. I'm sure of that.
Definitely.
What matters to me is the value. Yeah, the value. What value am I bringing up?
Mine, oh mine.
Yeah.
So much to
Sustainability is also key.
Yeah.
Which is another thing that many of us are not always thinking. We are just ready to do the things, make the hell, and go. For me, whatever I'm doing, at this age, I'm not old. I say I'm still a young person.
Yeah.
How do I sustain it? If it is going to be short term, let me declare to people it's short term. If it is going to be mid-term, let me declare. But if it is not going to be sustainable, and I know it's a long-term ambition, it's only then I should think about it. Look at businesses. You see you see businesses as long as 200 years to 50 years. That's one of the biggest problems. How many African businesses do you see for over 100 years? Yeah, everybody's just thinking of, let's do this, make it, get stuff. It's going made up. You see INGOs where I work currently, I'm in Sightsavers more than 70 years. How many national organizations, INGOs, civil society organization in Nigeria has been existing for as long as 50 years? I mean, without no for working tirelessly. So these are some of the things we need to start thinking about if we need to put things in place. So these are the things at this stage for me that I always urge many people who are still, we learn from each other. Who might say, I'm learning from you, to start thinking through that accountability, the productivity, the sustainability, and humility. And don't think you are alone, you are the only one, you're bigger than we are not.
Wow. So much to learn from this interview. I mean, hearing this from you, I mean, you have actually, like the last person I interviewed, that was last week, he said that there is no the glass ceiling has been shattered. There is no glass ceiling anywhere. It's been broken. And so that means you only place a limit to how far you can go yourself. That's basically what it means. The limit to which you can get to is determined by yourself, not by anything, by yourself. You can decide that you want to go this far, or you can decide to limit it just by yourself. And I mean, that's what your life has shown. Right, as we round up this interview this day, the last thing I want to ask you is this. If you had the opportunity of knowing what will happen to you that time, now you are talking, the answer to this question is to that person who is in the state that you are when it happened. So if you had the opportunity of advising your younger self, again, with the benefit of hindsight, what will you tell your younger self that this thing is going to happen at this time? These are the things that you should focus on now, based on your almost 13 years or 14 years of being on this journey in the reinventing of yourself. If you are to speak to your younger self, what will you tell your younger self?
Whether you like it or not, problems will come. Whether you are rich or poor, tall or short, even in the rural or urban cities, problems will come.
What will come? Problems will come.
Challenges will arise. You cannot determine the form in which the challenges will come. You don't know if it's going to be health. You don't know if it's going to be political. You don't know if it's going to be financial. You don't know if it's going to arise from your family. You don't know. So the best you can first do for yourself is to be mentally equipped and see every problem from the positive side of life.
See every problem from the positive side of life.
Yeah. Because you can't run away. Again, even if you are already in my situation now, does that still have a problem? In fact, I told someone, being blind does not immune me from not having problems of life. Does not stop me from not having other health problems. Does not grant me immunity from having everything I want. I still have my own issues that I'm dealing with. So let me talk to you, who is in that situation. Every problem makes you better than who you are. If only with a condition, just one condition. Just with one condition. Embrace it that it has come. And you can then take other steps. Every problem in life, if you cannot first accept and acknowledge that that problem has arisen, has come to meet you, then naturally you can't. You won't, because you continue to live in denial. That's a first thing. But you see, when I said have a positive outlook to every problem, it's because when you have a positive outlook to it, at the moment you are accepting the problem, you are looking at the solution to the problem. You are looking at, how do I learn from this thing that happened? And how do I reassure or reinvent that this problem don't happen again? Right? And keep in mind, like I said, every problem will not be solved. Some problems you can only mitigate them, live with them, and do better with it. Just like when we tell you about some health condition, hepatitis and some of this, you can't cure them. But you see people living 20, 30, 50 years, they manage it and they still get every other thing you and I will get them. Yeah. So That's the same way I've seen life. The first, the positive mental attitude. The second is the acceptance. Those are the two foundations you need. Now, every other thing is now going to be determined on the way you project out of that. You know, if you remember the title of my first book then, I said, brand your blindness. Yeah.
Yes.
I brand my own problem. Yeah. And I move out of it. If you package your problem, yeah, every problem comes with a lesson. So can you pick the lesson from that problem? Yeah, and move out of it. Yeah. So that's just a picture for me. Then after I wrote that, then I said, get started, get growing. I remember that was the second book.
Yeah.
And when I read the third one, I said, communicate to me. I was pitching. It's more of a face of a life to me. But just that people don't understand. Yeah, brand their blindness, because at that moment I need to package my problem. It's my problem. Will see me with my problem.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't see, but damn it, I'm going to brand that problem. You can't weigh me down because of my problem.
Yeah.
And I said, I titled the second book, Get Started, Get Growing. At that moment, I've accepted, packaged my problem, and I want to push it out. Then my process of pushing it out, of getting started and get growing, I said, let's communicate to win. Yeah, we need to communicate. Yeah, we need to speak out. We need to move out of that places. If we are growing, let's communicate. If we are not, let's tell people. Yeah. So these are just the faces of life. But again, I will tell you, there you are 50, you are 100, you are 70. Every one of us will have problems, challenges, and they will come in different forms, in different places. Just like my dad told me, no problem will come to you that you don't have the capacity to solve it. Perhaps you just don't need it. Every challenge, in fact, he will say, every challenge that comes to you comes with, you have the potential to solve it. If you now think you can't solve that challenge, it's you. If you think you can, then it's you too. Yeah. So it begins and ends with you as a person. Yeah. But honestly, you need the support system, you need the society. I know for sure we all need that. We all need each other to make the best of life. But some people live in the best of the world, of the best society, but yeah, they are not making it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not just about the society, it's not about you. Lastly, I don't know if you did physics when we were in secondary school.
Yeah. I was a science student also.
Okay. You remember there's this term called elastic limits.
Elastic limit, yeah.
Good.
So you get to the elastic limit and you go beyond it, it does flat. Break.
In life, you must know your elastic limit. If you go beyond it, you will break. So give yourself the best of sound health and mental health. That's the last thing I'll tell you. In the spirit of smart work, or if it is hard work, as you might think it, in the spirit of doing anything you want to do in life, remember
know your limit.
Yeah. Know your limit. If you go beyond it, you will break. Yeah. And that's going to be my last name. Everything you want to do, take good care of yourself, your mental health. Yeah. But again, you can stretch and you can stretch. But don't
yeah.
Yeah. And that's the principle.
Wonderful. It's been wonderful. I mean, Rasak, I'm going to, of course, obviously, I am the host. I'm going to listen again. It's been a really loaded interview. I must really thank you for your time with us on the Mentors Lounge today. Now, if you're watching this, I'm going to drop some links about Rasak on this video. And please like this video, subscribe to the channel, because Mentors Lounge is about democratizing success. We bring people who can share how they'll be able to brace the odds. They will share the principles with you. You can take some of the things and run with it, and you can be sure that you will be able to succeed. Once again, it's Larry Lewis on the Mentors Lounge saying, keep winning. Bye for now.